After Jimmu had established a strong administration in Yamato, there was prosperity for several centuries. The 12th emperor, Keiko, had 10 wives and 80 children. Among his children, there were 2 brothers, Osu and the younger Osu. Because their mother died when they were both very young, the younger brother Osu had a close relationship with his aunt, Yamato-hime, sister of the emperor. She worried constantly that her nephew tended to go too far in his efforts to do his duty due to excessive feelings of loyalty towards the emperor. He would eventually kill his older brother, who married 2 sisters that their father, the emperor, intended to become his wives. The emperor was terrified of Osu's violent nature. In spite of his innocent-looking, slender physique. Secretly, he hoped that his son would die quietly. He sent the 15-year-old boy to the far west, to a place called Kumaso, now Kumamoto Prefecture, to conquer the rebellious Yamato-takeru brothers. They were said to be the strongest and fiercest men in Western Japan. Osu was delighted that his father seems to trust him with such a challenging and important mission. He visited his aunt and excitedly talked about it. His aunt immediately recognized the emperor's intention and gave him a kimono so that he could disguise himself as a woman to avoid danger. And then the young man set out for the west, accompanied by a small band of soldiers. The house of the brothers was heavily guarded. He let down his hair and put on the kimono his aunt gave him. Disguised as a girl, he successfully gained access to the house. A feast was being held, and the brothers were utterly enchanted by what they thought was a mysterious female guest. Osu seized the opportunity to get closer, then stabbed and killed them. After this, he began to call himself Yamato-takeru. He also conquered other strong rebels in Izumo, now Shimane Prefecture, on his way home to Yamato. However, his unexpected success nearly frightened the emperor even more. Again, he ordered him to go and subdue his enemies. This time in the east. Yamato-takeru was deeply hurt because he couldn't understand why his father was so keen on pushing him away. Again, he went to see his aunt. She gave him Kusanagi no Tsurugi. The sword Susano took from a tiny monster, plus a small drawstring bag. She advised him to only open the bag if he was in mortal danger. His journey to conquer the East was a succession of hardships. In Sagami, now Shizuoka Prefecture, a local governor, enticed him into a field of tall grass and set fire to it. But using 2 pieces of flint, he found inside the small drawstring bag from his aunt. He fought fire with fire and escaped before killing the treacherous governor. Later in the journey, while crossing Hashirimizu no Umi, which is known as the Uraga Strait today, Yamato-takeru cursed the ocean itself. The sea god was upset and blocked their way by raising rough waves. His wife, Ototachibana Hime, threw herself into the sea to placate the god. Of course, she never came back. Eventually, Yamato-takeru pacified all the warlike deities and violent people of the east. On their way back to the capital, he set out to defeat the ferocious god of Mount Ibuki. However, he didn't take the magical sword that his aunt had given him, because he was so convinced he could defeat the mountain god with his bare hands. At the foot of the mountain, they came across an enormous white bow. Yamato-takeru turned his back on the animal and ordered his party onwards, on the assumption that this was a lowly servant of the mountain god. But yet again, his arrogance and overconfidence provoked the anger of the god. He failed to recognize and respect. Having been caught in a violent hailstorm, conjured by the god's magical power, Yamato-takeru became gravely ill. He pressed on towards the capital, despite being on the verge of death, but finally collapsed and seized his last breath in Nobono, now Mie Prefecture. His soul is said to have transformed into a large white bird, which soared up into the sky and flew off to the west, towards Yamato. Yamato-takeru is one of the most popular gods in Japan. He is often considered to be a tragic hero who could not succeed despite his exceptional talent. As we have seen, his achievements would not have been possible without his aunt and his wife. And yet, even today, women cannot inherit the imperial throne of Japan.